Okay, this is a little instructional video on how to make these newspaper seedling pots that several of my friends had asked me about, and I've failed to get that information to you so far. So bear with me. I'm not an actor, but I wanted to do the video because it's so much to type and it needs to be a little more informational. It's a little more show and tell than it is just typing out instructions. So here we go. You just need newspaper. I use the big sheets and only use the black and white print. The color print, the ink will seep into the soil and it will poison your plant. So only black and white. And you take the big sheets and you tear them in half. And you need a jelly jar or a straight edge jar, or a straight edge glass of some kind will work better. I don't have a perfectly straight edge, so I use this little jelly jar, and it works okay, but it's a little wobbly. And what I use to hold the pots are these sod trays. These were sod plugs that Dave got to do our yard, and some I got some from the neighbors too when they did their yard. These are wonderful for this application. Because the cups, once you make them, fit right down into the cups of the tray. If you don't have a tray like this, you can use whatever you have. I think once you get your dirt and the pots get a little bit wet and they form to the dirt, they'll sit right beside each other without a problem. But these work really well, so you might ask your garden supply center wherever you go if they have any of these. And if they're going to get rid of them or whatever, if you could have them. So, here we go. I'm making these actually to start my garden for up north. I start my seedlings down here in Florida about 6 weeks before we head up, and that way my garden's ready to go in when we get there. And it's so much cheaper to buy seeds than it is to buy plants. You take the half sheet and you fold it in half again. With the ragged edge of the paper toward the mouth of the jar, you lay the jar down on it to where you got about 2 inches or so of paper past the mouth of the jar, and just a little bit of the top of the bottom of the jar showing on the other edge of the paper. And then you just roll it up like that. I fold in this little corner because it just keeps it tighter and tighter whenever the pot is finished. And then you take the ragged edge and you fold it into the mouth of the jar. And then you pull the jar out, reinsert it with the bottom down, put it in your little cup, in your tray, and you mush it down like that. And then you have a cup, just like that. And you fill it with dirt, put it back in your tray, and then you're ready to plant your seeds in it. And like I said, I put 2 seeds per pot because they're pretty big for seedlings. And then when you get ready to go put it in your garden, tear the paper off of it, and the paper can go straight into your composter, or you can put it straight onto the garden, just tear it up, and when you work it into the soil, it will compost down into the dirt. I do not leave it on the plant because I like to give my roots a little break up before I put them into the dirt to give them a little chance to get set into the garden dirt. This would, I think, keep them a little too bound tightly for them to get a good start. So, anyway, that's how you do it. It's green, and it's cheap. I think those are 2 of the greatest things you can do. So, that's it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to send me a note.